Welcome to Coach's Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi. To my right, the Swami George Abraham. To my left, the Tiger Albert Campman. Guys, can you believe we're headed into the fourth week of high school football? So let's go to our spotlight. Our top passers: Brody Dittman, AC Valley, threw for 216 yards and a TD. Chris Smiley, Elwood City, 213 yards. Boys,
I was there.
They got two threats now on offense: the quarterback and the running back.
A lot of confidence. They have a lot of confidence right now.
Trent Beecham, Monitol's having a terrific year. He threw for 192 yards and 3 TDs. Luke Goodworth of Mars, 184 yards and 2 TDs. Braylon Littlejohn of Butler, 169 yards and a TD. Jason Sickett of North Catholic, 129 yards and 2 TDs. Logan Kushner of North Allegheny, he threw 7 passes, completed 5 of them, 4 for touchdown passes. He ran for a touchdown in a 67-20 win over Baldwin. And the performance of the week, Hollidaysburg quarterback Drew Weiland, he passed and rushed for 320 yards. Hollidaysburg had 433, so he had what, George, about 80% of their yardage in a 33-13 win over Butler. Top rushers: Evan Wright of Mars, 177 yards and 3 TDs. Elijah Palmer McCain of Elwood City, 167. It's a pretty good 1-2 punch here.
Yeah, and the offensive line's doing a nice job.
Ethan Pillar, Pine Ridge, 145 yards and 3 TDs. We'll see him on the 29th when Pine Ridge goes into North Allegheny. And Jack Fennell of North Catholic, 135 yards and a touchdown. Cody Mullen of Knoch, 1 week he'll do it with his arm, and another week he'll do it with his legs. He rushed for 102 yards and 2 TDs. And in receiving, Caden Delatre of Hollidaysburg, I have to mention him. He caught 3 for 129 yards.
The coach's son.
Is that the coach's son? Gabe Hine of Mars, 7 for 121 yards and 2 TDs. Owen Bish, AC Valley, 4 for 86 and a TD. And Brady O'Hara of North Catholic, he caught 4 for 85 and a TD. He's a 6'6", 245-pound junior tight end, heavily recruited, and the hot team after him is Wisconsin.
Yeah, he fits that bill, doesn't he?
Absolutely. How'd you like to tackle him? You were a defensive
Wisconsin
guy.
or Iowa. Just send him there now.
Yes, right. He fits in with their mold.
Absolutely.
David Graff of Butler, 7 for 72 yards. Ashton Grossman of Monitol, 5 for 69. And Landon Lacey of Butler, 3 for 65 yards. Let's go to our power rankings, week 3. North Allegheny at the top in 6A, followed by Central Catholic, Cannon Mac, and Mount Lebanon. And the game of the week is Central Catholic at North Allegheny. Central Catholic rolled over Mount Lebanon 49-0. This ought to be a high-scoring affair.
Well, they're the two best teams by far.
Yes.
That's easy.
And 5A, it's Peters Township, Upper St. Clair, Shaler, Penn Hills, and Pine Richland. In 4A, who else but El Equipa? I thought they were in the Big Ten this year. I didn't know they were still in the WPIAL. Followed by Thomas Jefferson, McKeesport, Central Valley, and Armstrong. In 3A, it is Bell Vernon, Avonworth, Elizabeth Forward, and Knoch, 4-0. How about this? The previous 3 years, Knoch won 3 games. And beat undefeated Southmoreland last week.
That's what high school is supposed to be. When you get that class is coming through, they're really athletic. You reap the benefits. If not, then you find the coach.
And we're going to see them October the 13th when they take on neighborhood rival Freeport. Beaver in there at 5th, and in 2A, it's Washington, Westinghouse, Neshannock, Mohawk, Elwood City in there. It's been
awesome.
We ever had the Wolverines in there? It's been a while.
We have
been a while.
But it's been a while, yes.
And tied with Amani Christian. And in 1A, it's Bishop Canavan, Southside Beaver, Cornell, Rochester, and Clairton. Let's go to our stories of the week. The NFL, the Steelers, with their defense, beat the Browns 26-22. It's now 26 straight years the Browns haven't started this season 2-0. The Steelers' defense produced 2 touchdowns. First play of the game, guys, the pick 6 by Highsmith. And then the fourth quarter, Deshaun Watson fumbles. T.J. Watt picks it up, takes it in for the winning score, and hurt the Browns, and they lost Nick Chubb. But I know the Steeler fans get upset with Matt Canada. The Browns fans ought to be upset with some of this play calling by Kevin Stefanski. I'm not sure. Is Deshaun Watson now an option quarterback running down the line of scrimmage. What did you think when you saw that?
I have no idea. I'm not in the film room, but I'm going to take this another way. We've always been honest Steelers about paying their defense. Now you know why they paid them money.
Yeah.
Do you understand? They won the game single-handedly.
Yeah,
But
but then it's about time that the defense came
not
through
about
like
time.
that.
They have to do it every game.
Yeah,
their
they
offense
have
aren't
to.
very good.
Right, the offense scored 12 points. They scored 19 points in 2 games. The big play was Pickett to Pickens for 71 yards.
Did he cut through there?
Yeah.
A guy had an angle and it wasn't even close.
Hey,
Jeez, can he fly?
yeah, there's something about the Browns. They don't explode, they implode. They perfected a way of losing games. This is going all the way back to when Marty Schottenheimer was a very good coach, was there, and Ernest Biner when they blew that championship game. There's just something about them. And when they play the Steelers, I don't think they believe they can beat the Steelers.
Well, last night, the injury to Chubb just was a killer.
That was a
You
killer.
understand? You can't.
I hope
you can't.
it's not serious.
I think he's the best running back in football.
What is the? I didn't hear. What did they say?
Everything.
He's done
Tore it all.
Yeah,
MCL,
yes.
ACL.
No, kneecap exploded.
Everything's on.
Oh my! See, they didn't. I didn't hear anything during the
no.
game. You must have watched after. I went to bed.
He's done.
And then Fitzpatrick's hurt for the Steelers.
He's going to be okay.
He's going to be okay.
Let's put it this way. He's nothing like Chubb.
No, he's
You know.
But whatever Deshaun Watson was before, as a court, he's no longer. That rust is still there. Whatever. Where have you gone, Baker Mayfield? We said it before. We like Baker, right?
Tampa Bay.
2-0.
Yeah.
He's 2-0.
He's 2-0, threw for 317 yards and a win over the Bears. Baltimore 27, Cincy 24. Baltimore now 2-0, Cincy 0-2. The second straight year they started 0-2. Lamar Jackson, I watched that. He was tremendous. 24-33, 237 yards, 2 TDs, 12 carries for 54 yards. He got that. He's earning that new contract.
The running part is important for him.
Yes.
I think so many quarterbacks who come into the league as runners, they want to prove they're passers, and they take away what they do best. When he runs the ball, he's very dangerous.
And the thing is, when he rolls out, looks like he's going to run. Teams are afraid to come up because he'll release that ball in a hurry.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Burrow, 27 of 41, 222 yards, 2 TDs, and interception. But again, that calf, they said, is still not 100%.
I agree with that. I think this is the year they take the dive backward.
I agree with you there. Baltimore looks pretty good.
Oh.
I know they didn't look good week 1, but they look so much better this week.
It's the NFL.
Yeah.
Not for long. You never know who's going to show up and play on Sundays.
Now, how about this game? Kansas City 17, Jacksonville 9. I thought that would be what happened to the over in that
51,
game. 51.
it went under by about 40 points. Yeah, you just don't know in that league, as Al said. But it seems like that Kansas City defense, like a couple Super Bowls,
Chris Jones back.
They show up when you're not expecting. I mean, 9 points to Jacksonville.
Jones showed up, looked like he didn't miss a beat. He was in his camp.
He had a big sack.
Kelsey was back.
Oh, yeah.
And Mahomes threw for 305, Lawrence 198. And then Buffalo demolished the Raiders 38-10. Josh Allen finally looked like himself. He had a bad game, the opener, 2 TDs, 267 yards passing. Buffalo.
A couple of things about those games, and it stands out to me in the NFL. Red zone is everything. You hold people to field goals, and then you have a chance to win. Buffalo scored touchdowns, and Jacksonville did. Jacksonville was down there. They had 3 times reviewed plays in the end zone that they didn't score. You got to score touchdowns.
How about Tennessee 27, the Chargers 24 in overtime, Tennessee 1-1, the Chargers 0-2. Whose seat is hotter? Is it Brandon Staley for the Chargers, or I think Kevin Stefanski's seat's getting hot in Cleveland too?
I'll say Staley.
Staley.
Yeah, I think he's going to be the first guy gone. I really do.
Because, not that they both shouldn't go, but there's a perception that the Chargers have all this talent.
Yes.
They do have
the quarterback. They got that quarterback.
He has that turnover.
It's the quarterback. That's what
They
I'm
have
saying.
58 points. They're 0-2.
You hear what Austin Eckler said last week? We don't have the best of coaching at times.
Oh, Jesus.
So he said
No. He
the
said
guy's
it.
out.
I didn't hear
well,
that.
He said it.
Yeah, you can't survive that.
You know that's going through the locker room.
Absolutely.
I think Stefanski, pretty soon you're going to hear these chants in NFL stands. We want prime. We want prime.
It's coming.
Hey, Dallas 30, the Jets 10. That defense of Dallas, 3 sacks, 3 interceptions. Zach Wilson, 12 of 27, 170 yards. Before, when Aaron Rodgers was healthy, what were they? 16-1 odds to win. Now, what are they?
16,000 to 1. 'Cause they're not winning. They may not win 6 games.
If you can rush the passer with 4 guys, that's the other NFL thing, and that's what Dallas can do.
Washington rallies from 18 down to beat Denver 35-33. Washington 2-0, Denver 0-2. Not a great start for Sean Payton.
No, absolutely. He invented football, too. It's strange.
You know what's interesting about that? I was listening. That's how I learned on YouTube. He and McCarthy have the same record. Both have a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And George hates McCarthy too.
Yeah.
But they put Peyton up like
Oh,
he's.
you think he had 7?
yeah.
Like if you didn't, if you just turn on some Sunday, well, now that Peyton's in Denver, you would think he had 7.
but it's just the opposite.
Yeah, the other guy's the
McCarthy
dummy.
is
Yeah.
the dumbest.
And he's
the
not.
worst.
No.
He has the same record.
Should have kept his mouth shut criticizing another head coach.
There was no need for that.
There's
No.
totally.
No
Yeah,
need.
why you do that? Because you have to be showman.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly.
Hey, you talk about averting disaster and known to start. I was watching the Giants down 28-7. I said they got a hangover from that 40-0 shellacking from Dallas, and then they rally for a 31-28 win over Arizona. It's their biggest comeback, being down by 21 points since 1949 when they beat the Chicago Cardinals.
Bill Bourne was coach.
Bill Bourne was there. Yeah,
Barkley's out for 3 games too. That's another big injury.
Yeah.
And
yes.
but Jones is really underrated. They continually say he's in the middle of the pack, and I don't see it.
I know you like him. Yeah.
He's good. He can run and pass.
Hey, and let me run this by James Connors, 106 yards rushing for 0-2 Arizona. He now has over 5,000 career yards and 53 touchdowns. I know he was injured with the Steelers, but I'm going to say this. I think he's a better back all around than Najee Harris.
They got a better back than Harris on the same team.
Yeah. Oh, that's
You
what.
understand? I want to call him out on that one. Warren's better than
We said
Najee
it in
Harris.
Dallas
And-
for 2 years.
Whatever that site is, NFL.com, they rate Najee Harris in terms of productivity
Yes.
down at the bottom of
Warren's better
NFL
than
running
him.
backs.
Well,
Warren
and
can catch better, run better. Yes,
What-
I agree.
He hits a
don't
hole
want-
faster.
Yeah.
He hits a hole faster.
it makes no sense. I know they paid him the money.
Oh, yes.
But still,
Yeah.
Warren's a better player.
Well, here's the problem for the Giants. 2 games, they've given up 68 points.
Yeah, the defense isn't very good, right?
49ers 30, Rams 23. Brock Purdy, I'm going to start calling him the executive. He just goes out there and does the job. 206 yards passing, and McCaffrey 116 yards rushing.
You got Debo in there and the tight end. There's a lot of fire.
I think they have the best team.
I do not.
On paper. Now, I don't know if they're going to do
How
it.
good will they in Dallas?
I think,
That'll be a
Denver's the best team.
slugfest.
Oh my gosh!
Hey,
no,
see-
they're good.
Seattle on the road, they beat Detroit in overtime 37-31. Geno Smith, I just love the way he
Got to root for
plays.
him. Got to root for him.
328 yards passing, 2 TDs. How about Jared Goff? He had a nice game, 323 yards. He threw his first pick in around 400 attempts, and it was a pick 6.
Yeah, changed the whole game.
Yeah.
And then there's Baker Mayfield. Boy, he's looking good. 317 yards passing in Tampa Bay, 2-0.
We'll see. It's a long season, as
Yeah.
I said. Baker's one of those guys.
I'll root for
that
Baker.
looks pretty good. All
I
of
like
a sudden, he implodes.
Yeah.
We'll see how he does.
I root for him.
He's got a couple receivers down there too.
Oh, yes.
You know, it's not like he
Godwin
doesn't
and
have
Evans,
anybody.
yes.
Yeah.
How about Atlanta, 2-0, 25-24 over Green Bay. B. John Robinson, 124 yards rushing. He's been pretty good.
We
for
saw
the 2
him
games.
coming. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a good player. I'm not crazy about their quarterback at all.
You don't
Right.
like Derek Ritter
I don't like him
for
either.
Atlanta?
He can't pass.
They run the ball down
every
your
play.
throat. That's the
No,
only
no,
play.
if
Uh-huh.
you'll let them run like Bogart you, they're hard to beat.
This week, Steelers at Raiders. It's a pick. You
Big
surprised with that?
No.
Oh, Raiders beat the Steelers all the time out there. All the time.
Plus, it's a short week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Baltimore at home against the Colts. Baltimore by 8.
I like Baltimore.
Cincy at home against the Rams Monday. Cincy -7.
They have to win that one.
Yeah.
They have to
Can't
win
go
I
0-3.
mean, 0-2 you can come back from. 0-3 you can't.
I'll tell you right now, too, I don't think the quarterback's healthy.
He's not.
And
right.
they do not. You know how sometimes you're good and then there's like this hangover or whatever? Something's not clicking there.
It happens. It happens. Hey, the Browns at home against the Titans. Cleveland by 5.
Oh.
I know you're thinking, Craig.
They-
They lose this game, and really, they're gonna come out and start getting bad on Kevin Stefanski and what he's doing.
I think Cleveland is good.
I do too.
I understand, but I mean, you beat Cincinnati, and then you win to Pittsburgh and always beat Pittsburgh.
Hey, Tennessee's a bad team to play. Beat up. You know that.
Yeah.
They play
They'll
like
run the ball.
1980.
Yeah.
They're going to
Yes.
run that big boy to death, and they play good defense.
All right, let's move on to college football. The backyard brawl turned into the backyard crawl. The Insomniac Bowl, 7-6 at the half. West Virginia, 17, Pitt 6. How about this? Both teams, how bad was this? Had a total. Each team, 211 yards of total offense. The total pass completions in yards, 14 completions for 142 yards. That's both teams combined. There were more completions and yards passed for in the 1913 Notre Dame Army game that inaugurated the forward pass. I don't know what's going on with Phil Jacoby. 8 for 20, 82 yards, 2 games, 18 for 52, 3 picks, 3 TDs, only 266 yards. Guys, it wasn't that long ago at BC when he had a second seasoner, I think, or maybe it was his first. 23 touchdown passes, only 5 interceptions, highly rated by Kirk Herbstreit and a lot of others talking about him having a future in the pros. So I don't know what has happened to him.
Well, I've coached a lot of kids, and when you lose your confidence, it's hard to get it back.
You see it as a confidence factor?
Oh, totally. He's missing passes that he's completed as a junior at Pine Richland. I mean, that's
he's hesitant in his decision making.
The one swing pass that hit the ground, he doesn't.
It was
play
amazing.
Like,
He threw the ball right into the
yeah.
ground.
He doesn't play like that.
And then he just threw one when he rolled out that time to the right, and he should have thrown it out of bounds. He threw it into triple coverage.
And that's what I would tell him. I said,
Yeah.
think about when you were a great player and you had all the confidence in the world. Go back to playing that way. Be a gunslinger, play that way. But if you don't complete passes in college football, that's why the score was like it was.
How much do you think, since day one when he went into the transfer portal, he's been hammered on social media? Oh, you didn't want to come here in the beginning. Now you want to come here. And he whatever he does, he's getting hammered.
Let me tell you this: Saturday night, first incompletion. You know what's coming.
Well, he got booed in West Virginia, too.
Yeah.
There's an ugly side here. I want to bring this up, not just about him. The player for Colorado State, the defensive back, who hit the receiver.
Getting death threats, I know.
He's being death threats, his mother. And then the running back for Minnesota fumbled the ball against the Eagles. He's receiving racial
They're so
slurs.
disgusting.
Yeah,
disgusting. And threats against him and his mother. And now, who else is getting hammered? Pickett and his bride. What's she have to do with anything? Because of his commercial with Levin Furniture?
Yeah. Hey, I would say that.
Whatever
Let's
is.
say this: that Colorado State was that was a Jack Tatum dirty hit on the sideline. It was head to head, out of bounds,
right.
And it was after the play.
Right.
Oh, no, the
But for the
play
kid-
was not good.
No.
But you don't make death threats,
Death
to
threats
somebody.
against him.
Well, what they did, they put his address on social
Yeah.
media.
They went and got his mom's address and phone number and threatening both
But then
of
you
them.
see the game last night. We were watching. I told my wife, stop that. And we paused it. The fans dressed up like, and they're black and gold. They're fanatics.
Yeah.
They're not. That's what I said. They take it past fans.
Well,
They're-
like I said last week at the Pitt Cincinnati game, I thought, am I at a Steeler game? There were so many people there with Steeler gear on.
They're fanatics.
It's a
Yes.
college game.
You
So-
can't lose perspective, though.
No,
You start like
totally can't.
racial slurs, threatening people. Oh, come
But
on, it's
when
the
you
game.
when you start betting, and the betting is heavy, and we've talked about
Yeah.
it. This is what happens. You lose all perspective.
And the drinking with it.
Okay.
Now, so where does Pitt go? They have North Carolina coming up.
Oh Jesus!
North Carolina 3-0. Drake May, pretty good defense. What do you do? Do you give Phil another shot?
Oh, they're going to play it, but they're going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball like
Yeah.
crazy. That's what they're going to try to do.
They better run the ball. I'm gonna tell you, if they don't, they're gonna need 31. I watched that kid. I'll take him right now on my
He's
team.
good. Yeah.
He's a great player.
And by the way, the Cincy Bearcats, they lost to Miami, Ohio, 31
Yeah,
to
so much for how
24.
good they were.
Yeah,
too, when
that-
it's-
That's what sports is about.
yeah.
You understand?
You
You
get too
think,
high?
you think Miami is not a team? I mean,
Yeah.
see, the other team
Oh,
wants
yeah,
to win.
yeah,
The other team wants to win too.
Yeah.
Unless you're Georgia or somebody that's so much better than people.
Yes.
There's going to be wins, losses every week.
And having said that, that's a good point. Next up for West Virginia, 2-1, they take on Texas Tech. Look out, can they build on this win from Pitt?
Texas Tech's better.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really simple.
Penn,
Take that Oregon beat Oregon the whole time.
Penn State 30, Illinois 13. That's despite lackluster performance by Penn State quarterback Drew Allar. And the offense, Penn State defense had 4 interceptions. Next up, they take on number 24, Iowa at Penn State, favored by 14.
Yeah, that's about all that will be scored.
Because
take
you
the
know
under.
Iowa's, they play great defense.
No, they're not gonna take chances on offense, and they're not, as you say, they always play good defense.
And Slippery Rock 42, Millersville 21. The Rock 3-0 now. Quarterback Braden Long threw for 390 yards and 5 touchdowns. Wide receiver Kyle Sheets, he caught 12 passes for 210 yards and 3 TDs. Next up for the Rock, ranked number 15. They are at Seton Hill for their first road game of the season.
Yeah, playing on the road is a little different. You're right.
And they're better.
Mm-hmm.
Seton Hill's better.
Yeah.
And they're better in basketball, too. There's something going on down there.
Well, the Rock has to be careful because they have big games coming up at IUP in California.
Yeah, don't look ahead.
Don't look ahead.
No.
Hey, how about this week in college football for all the junkies out there? I'm one of them. Number 4, Florida State at unranked Clemson. Mm-hmm. That is a pick. Number 6, Ohio State at number 9, Notre Dame. Ohio State by 3. Number 19, Colorado at number 10, Oregon. Oregon by 20. And by the way, Prime was on 60 Minutes last week, and they were talking to him and asked him, is he one of the better coaches? And he said, give me your mirror.
That's who he is.
Now, Shador Sanders, who had another brilliant game against Colorado State, NIL, he drives $190,000. Is it a Mercedes bus?
It's a Mercedes SUV or something. $190,000.
He should take all of us on a trip.
$4 million he's getting paid.
Yeah.
Why would you leave there? You'd have to be crazy to leave there.
Number 13, Alabama 2-1 at Ole Miss, 3-0. Ole Miss number 15. That game's at Bama. And last weekend, guys, football-wise, Thursday through Saturday, there were 48 college football games on TV and 4 NFL games.
48 and college.
Hey, let me give these guys a tip too. Because of no programming, because of the writer's strike, all the Monday Night Football games are going to ABC.
Uh-huh. Hey, as far as NIL goes, I heard someone say, talking about Colorado and all the players, this has to stop. They have to put some controls on. That genie is out of the bottle.
Yeah.
We say it on our show all the time.
Here's what people don't realize. This is all supported by the federal courts and the United States Supreme Court. It's a done deal.
It's out of control.
There's no going back.
And I were talking on the radio once, and this guy says, I don't think it'll affect recruiting.
Oh, my God.
We
Is
looked
he
at each other.
crazy?
He wasn't there.
Is he
we looked
crazy?
at each other like, I don't think you know what's going to happen.
Like I said about Dan Ostrowski last week, I'm sure he'd take it back. These guys aren't pros. Dan, they're pros.
They're pros.
And George made a point to tell me about his economic degree. The IRS is going to get involved in this.
At some point,
and
the
then
IRS is going to step in and say, hey, Shador, we want some income.
Well, how about when Colorado plays at USC? Maybe California taxes involved.
Absolutely.
Now they have to
The
hire
pros
accountants.
do that. The pros do that.
Hey, guys, NIL college women, the top 10, 8 are basketball players. Number 1 is gymnast Olivia Dunn of LSU. She's in 7 figures. Number 8 is another gymnast. And according to Sports Illustrated issue, September 18th, this is the money list. Top college, don't pass up, and high school money-making athletes. Number 1, I didn't know this, Bronny James, USC basketball. Number 2 is Olivia Dunn, the gymnast from LSU. Number 3, doesn't even play, is Arch Manning of Texas. Number 4, Caleb Williams, the quarterback at USC. Number 5, I didn't know he was in there, Bo Nix, quarterback of Oregon. Number 6 is Angel Reese, basketball player from LSU.
She's so mobbed, she doesn't go to campus.
Oh.
She takes her courses online because she can't. That's what she says. She's getting mobbed.
Number 7 is Travis Hunter, the defensive back, wide receiver, took that hit
Absolutely.
for Colorado. Drake May, the North Carolina quarterback, is number 8. Shador Sanders, number 9. And numbers 13 and 15 are high school athletes, basketball and football players.
Yeah, if you're not getting drafted in the first round, There was no reason to leave college. You'll make more money in college.
Hey, there's 3 Farrell kids have NIL deals.
Yeah, I know.
The only ones in the area.
I agree. Hey, Major League Baseball, the Pirates lose 2 out of 3 to the Yankees, but they win Sunday's game 3-2. Bednar with his 35th save struck out the side. So for the Pirates, their 70th win, the first time since 2018. So it's the old, is the glass half full or empty? They're 2 losses away from their 7th straight losing season.
I told you, I said it on the show, if Skeens is as good as he has to be. Now, Skeens has to be that. They'll be a playoff team, too. Not next year, the year after next. The guy who's really made the difference, in my mind, Hayes has really come on.
Yes.
You know, that I was so down on him.
So
now that he's playing like that, they really have some really. And
He
Cruz
found
is coming.
some power. He's found some power.
Yeah,
And
not,
Cruz is
not,
coming
not
back.
can he do it every year?
I think he will.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
think he
key.
will.
You know,
And
Reynolds
Reynolds.
is a very good
Oh,
player.
yeah. They got a good team now.
If somehow they could get Sawicki up to hitting around 250
That's
instead
all.
of 210
That's
or
all.
212, because he drives in runs. Mitch Keller, I like the way he rebounded after
He's a good pitcher.
12-9, 4.04 ERA. Bednar with the 35 saves. If Skeens can come through, you might think I'm crazy. I want to take Cruz and put him into left field and leave him out there because of that ankle injury.
They're not going to. I
He
like
won't
it.
go to
Yeah,
left.
I don't mind the move, but they're not doing
yeah.
it.
Hey, boys, he won't go to left.
Yeah. The agent already
Maybe.
said he's not going anywhere.
Hey, by the way, baseball news, Ohtani is done for the season. His second Tommy John surgery coming up. He finishes with 44 homers, 96 RBIs, 11
I'm not laughing because he's hurt. I'm laughing because you understand they have every player
Yeah.
be as good as Babe Ruth before they
Yeah.
they all get hurt. They all get out.
You know, he's never pitched more than 160
I
some
know.
innings in a
That's right.
season. So he's going to sign with someone. They may say to him, "We just want you to be a DH or an
That's what he should be.
outfielder."
He doesn't want that. He wants paid twice.
Ego gets in the
he
way.
does. He wants paid.
I understand that.
I get it.
Yeah.
Hey, that's it for us. We run out of time. We'll see you next week.
High school sports, community events, all of your favorite local shows are calling the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel their home. Find out everything your neighborhood has to offer on Channel 100 or on YouTube. Spirit, town pride, local communities. This is the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.